We're back in the Stone Creek Kitchen celebrating 75 years of Frank Lloyd Wright's Taliesin West, and we are making the original recipe for his birthday cake that his wife created with all of the yummies that he loved. And they come into one beautifully created cake.
I'm coming.
Did you figure out?
It's tricky. Okay,
if we need some help, we'll pull someone in.
That'll work.
This commemorative cookbook also down there, or actually,
with two?
No, there it is, right
here. It is one here.
Yep. This is called A Taste of Taliesin West, and is this one of the recipes in there?
Yes, yes, and so is the bread pudding, and so is the chicken Arlington. And the salad that I brought, our students grew the lettuce, and the salad dressing recipe's in here too. It's really light and yummy soy sauce dressing.
Well, let's get this sauce started, and then I want to talk a little bit more about that cookbook and what we find in it and what you found.
Well, let me do that. I melted, excuse me, the chocolate in the microwave.
Okay.
And it's just 2 ounces of chocolate.
Now this goes on top, or it's going into?
This is gonna be the sort of drizzle over the top of the whipped cream.
Gotcha.
So you got that. You have a little bit of butter, tablespoon and a half.
I think I'm gonna pull that cake out of the fridge so that we can show everybody what it looks like again.
And we are praying this will go.
You were talking in the first segment how you like to put this with some edible flowers and.
That's the tradition in Wisconsin. They have lots of, there are nasturtiums and lots of things that just grow around. And then a third of a cup of water.
I've been doing this show for about 5 years, and I remember the first year that I worked here, one of the first segments that I had to do was a whole segment on edible flowers. So I had to go from basically plate of flour to plate of flowers.
That's kind of cool,
though. And eat them. It was cool, except for, I'm not sure that all of them are easy to eat. Some of them tend to have a little bit more, they're a little bit more bitter.
Yes.
So
I went online and looked up things because we didn't have, here in the desert, they don't just grow around as they do in Wisconsin. So this chocolate sauce is going to drizzle on the top.
Okay.
I have,
much like we see over here.
Yes, I have cake that I'm going to show you how to assemble in the next little segment because it's got all kinds of layers of things inside there.
So when we're creating this sauce, this chocolate sauce, how do we get it from there to on top of this cream, this whipped cream? It just without it melting it.
That's a good question. I had melting issues this morning. You have to let it sit a little, and then we found that the exact recipe, you had to thin a little bit with water so that it could be drizzly, but it wouldn't do it well, as you said. It melted the whipped cream.
Sometimes I think when you talk about recipes that are authentically, from the kitchen of somebody that we may know, what's interesting is as best as you can try and put them in there and create a recipe for somebody to follow, it's the way you do it. It's like I could give you my dad's enchilada recipe, and it probably wouldn't taste the same as his because he never really puts the recipe on paper. He just kind of puts it all in there.
Right. That's one of the kind of interesting things about the cookbook, because so many of the students, over the 75 years that came to study with Wright came from every culture, every country, and
it's diverse with the recipes.
Very much so, yeah, because you just cooked. That was part of what you did. So, you weren't a chef, but you're a student from Nigeria, and it's your week to cook. And what you would probably be familiar with was your own cultural recipes, and so there are a lot of things included. Mrs. Wright's background was Yugoslavian and Russian, so there are a lot of kind of that ethnicity recipes, but all kinds of things.
So we're going to get a lot in this little cookbook,
very
which, by
much
the way,
so. And
retails
they're all
for about
easy
20
to
bucks.
make because it was, as I said, it wasn't trained chefs. It was people, the students who had come that were part of the community, and it was part of your rotation of your life there.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know
We're
that.
still a residential community, as we were during Wright's time.
Well, I'm going to let you kind of work on that because now we know that it has to cool a little bit if we want to have success. So we'll be back for one final segment where it's all going to come together, and we're going to show you how you can make this at home.